Another video. This one to the fluffy kittenist, the faker of the fake Sagans, the fakest of the fake Sagans. You know, all the versions of the fake Sagan. This is the fakest one. Not even close to the old billions and billions and little blue ball, and yeah, not even close to the real Sagan. In terms of any kind of rationality, you know, some kind of capacity to understand the dilemma of being these stupid little sacks of blood and guts with our little passions and our little egos and our little aspirations. And yeah, no, let's not scientifically understand that. You know, let's just fall back into the same old idiocracy pattern. Let's just revert to ownership by nonsensical leprechaun charms. That's what fake Sagan believes in leprechauns now. And there's no coincidences and all this mush. So anyway, the video I was going to respond to was one he's talking about how, you know, he lists a couple of people, like Christopher 7, who I haven't seen make a video, but I guess he must have commented somewhere or something. And somebody else, and then he threw my name in there just for the hell of it, I guess. And talked about his glee. You know, he's just feeding like a shark on these emotions of tragedy. And, you know, the irony is that any emotion of tragedy I have is for you, as ironic as that sounds, is for the fact that I don't think real people, the real humans that make the planet Earth work at all, do anything good, the workers who I keep advocating for, they're the ones that have lost in this bullshit fight between Reagan 1 and Reagan 2, or Reagan X. You know, it's like Reagan with an X, you know, Trump's version of Reaganomics. And that's all it played on, was the same old jargon. Stop the hoodlums, just say no to hoodlum, and, you know, God bless America. You know, Trump is now a believer in God, apparently, which is pretty funny. You never saw any evidence of that in his entire life, and certainly not in his lifestyle, and certainly not in his candid, you know, recorded moments. No indication of much respect for the old biblical notions of right and wrong and correct and incorrect. Just, it's funny how far we have come from the days where, you know, Jimmy Carter was kind of mocked for, you know, the mild statement of, you know, that he has sinned in his heart and that he has lusted after other women. And, you know, it's kind of an honest statement, and it was so controversial, and, you know, look at where we are, you know, by comparison. An amazing swirl down the toilet. And, you know, but fake Sagans, you know, I presume all of this is some sort of shtick, because everybody's a shticker. You know, everybody's a hoodlum now. You know, they're all BB, buddy butt, you know, SW chainsaw, whatever, some sort of, they all have a shtick, they all have a fluffy kittenist kind of bullshit. You know, they're all playing some sort of dishonest game in the name of spirituality, in the name of something sacred, which is just so funny. You know, they're supposed to have these sacred principles, these sacred values, and this is what they, you know, they prance around in pink dresses and, you know, tossing lollipops. You know, it's all so insincere. It's just dress up. It's just like it's every day is Halloween, and that's all they want to do is play Halloween games. You know, I'll dress up as a new little villain tomorrow, and you know, there's just so much of that psychology. Instead of reacting to a broken world in some kind of rational way, just thought of math fails. Yeah, they just come up with completely irrational ways to react. And I can only laugh at, you know, fail. Gee, that's the best your brain can come up with is, yeah, I'll sell like 1742 snake oil. I won't even make new snake oil. I'll sell the really old, standard, Bible thumpy stuff. And I'll do it in some, I'll add some kind of new flavor to it, like, oh yeah, well, it's not really that God, it's the creative energy of the universe, but he's basically the same rules apply or something. And he's looking after us, and he's placing coincidences in our lives that have because he's looking after us. And if some little girl gets dragged under the school bus, it's because God didn't like that little cunt. Yeah, I mean it's vacuous mush. It's been sold to the ignorant masses forever. Okay, so Donald Trump used it to get a ton of votes. Okay, from a bunch of irrational Looney Tunes, and then he sold a bunch of fake hope to a bunch of the unemployed. With this fake dream that we're going to bring all the jobs back here from Mexico with our $15 minimum wage. And everybody knows, anybody with a brain knows, that can't possibly happen. So the only way you can bring the jobs back is if we're working for $5 an hour. And that's your victory. So you got, I won't go down all the list. Look, Hillary and the war is just, there's no way to, there's no defense I can provide. It's obviously chicanery for corporations that want pipelines or some kind of bullshit. I don't think she has any other, I don't think there's anything other than that in there, is that we need to change the regimes, because the regimes looked a little bit too much like they were going to work for their people, not us, and we don't want them doing that. And it just totally failed, and they won't even admit that, yes, this totally failed. I mean, we thought we were going to put in a compromise candidate, and the compromise went the other way, the other extreme. Kind of like what you assholes are doing. We'll play this game like you Democrats have to be more progressive, and in playing your game that I'm going to try to force you to be, but I'm not going to do it through the system, right? I'm not going to do it in the primaries or even before the primaries. I'm not going to make the political noise then. I'm going to make it way too late, and get the absolute worst case scenario created. And this is victory time. So I guess as a new Christian, you think fetuses are sacred and they have to be protected, and so we have to go through all that crap. So here he is, he was an anarchist of some kind, but apparently now his anarchy is I like fascists, and especially religious fascism. I love when people impose their perception of fetuses on other people and force them to see value in them when they can't see any value in organisms with fully developed nervous systems in factory farms. That that would be a terrible evil, to impose that wisdom on people and force them to account for those murders. But the fetuses, and what kind of fetuses? Poor fetuses, because we know people with means will, even if they have to spend a couple of $1,000, they'll do what it takes to get the procedure. And the only people that you're going to force to have children they don't want are people who can't afford them in the first place. So yeah, maybe 1 million more poor babies born in America a year. And even out of Donald Trump's own words, he wants to go, he says, yeah, well, we'll just go back to when they did it illegally. With coat hangers and such. So that's your love. But that's God's will. It's God's will that women poke holes in their uteruses and die having abortions. It's God's will that happen. And it's God's will that babies be born to people who don't want them and can't take care of them. That's God's will. And it'll all work out okay, because God will take care of it and he'll fix it. It's such a fact. I mean, it's a demonstrable fact. It's not like Jesus said something stupid like the poor will be with you always. I mean, where's that in the Bible, right? That's silly. That couldn't even be in the Bible once, let alone be in the Bible 9 times. So anyway, the whole thing is just so disgusting. For him to be playing this I believe in a God thing, when you're just... Oh, I'm supposed to believe what? What? One of your bullets that you shot in the air came down and hit you in the head or something? I'm supposed to believe you become completely retarded and don't understand that religion has been used for hundreds, thousands of years to basically keep poor people in their place, to just basically shut them the fuck up, keep them ignorant, give them a silly answer like everything's going to be all right and we don't have to fix anything because God will fix it, so don't worry, he's coming back any day and he'll fix everything. This lie has been used forever to keep people down, to enslave them. That's why the slave owners they wouldn't give the fucking blacks anything like a science book, but they would give them Bibles, and they would tell them what's in the Bible. They'd at least give them pictures of Jesus. They gave them the Christian religion because they knew it's good at controlling people. And so play your game, whatever. So I'll play some of this. It's just because you're just listening to this shit and you're just hearing Trump-isms. This guy who's never read the Bible doesn't understand even the chronology of the Bible. Probably doesn't know the real difference between Moses and Jesus and any of that stuff. Trump, and saying, yeah, it's my favorite book. Who believes any of that shit? Oh, the idiocracy believes it. They eat it up. He said, God bless America, and that's all you got to do. So, I mean, if Hillary would have done a little more God blessing America, and she won, what I would do a victory dance? No, I don't think so. I wouldn't say, oh, great move. Just as it wasn't a great move for this creature, Donald Trump, to win, compromising everything you're supposed to think has any kind of value, pissing on it in just the most royal way. I mean, it's just so many of these issues. I mean, what he is going to do to the Supreme Court, the federal courts, just on simple subjects like Hillary Clinton was for reducing the sentences of people in prison for drug offenses, nonviolent crimes. Trump ain't gonna do that.
Not the full 1,000 that I was hoping for, but
So he gave $1,000. He had some Bitcoin money, and he claims to be a poor man, and so this was a very generous act as a token of his. This is my my dead sheep. I brought some of my sheep to give to the people. And so he's doing his I sacrificed my Bitcoin money on the altar of I now am a valuable individual of character, because I have redemption. He says not exactly, so I guess there's a punchline in here somewhere. But yeah, doing a good thing, is a good thing. I mean, I do this stupid feeding the cat thing, and it costs me, hundreds of dollars every year. Maybe 1,000. To clean up somebody else's mess. But I still can't. I'm still choking on the hypocrisy of it all. Not this individual, but just the idea of it. This poster childery in the first place, and just the whole idea that Jesus freak is supposed to believe in not having sex before marriage. So why would this even be an issue? Why don't you just wait until she's got a husband and let him pay for it? Let him have the vagina of his choice. Let him modify it to his taste.
We did get it done, and Jesus freak, I just want to say my thoughts and prayers will be with Stephanie, and
so my thoughts and prayers will be with Stephanie, and like this is the this is the tripe, the evildoers have been feeding the poor forever. This crappy hope crap, that all you got to do is wish upon a star, just tap your heels together 3 times, and there's no place like home, and we'll all go back to 1970 in some magical, Jesus bubbly yellow submarine. No, it's not going to happen. The only way anything good happens is people have to do the hard work of confronting other people and fighting and arguing and defending principles with something called integrity. That is, you can't just lie constantly, fuckers. Again, you're asking me to sincerely believe. I'm supposed to sincerely believe you that you've rationally come to the conclusion that a silly leprechaun theory is the truth. I mean, I can understand some of you were a truther for a while, so I mean, in the Alex Jones thing. So I mean, I guess you're. It's like Darwin's hamster's a smart guy, but he's totally been suckered by just grotesque nonsense propaganda, and so I guess that's but I just it's hard to buy. That's all I'm saying. I just don't understand the brain dysfunction, where it comes from. Because I just haven't seen it as a regular event in my life. I mean, stupid people stay stupid, and smart people generally stay smart. This doesn't happen. Where people just flip into a stupid fuck.
God bless you and your family. And
yeah, God. So you think that's what God's going to do? You think Jesus freak is a preposterous hypocrite? You think Jesus wants Jesus freak as the poster child for Jesus? Even the name Jesus freak. I mean, you think that's what the game was all about? Is this putrid form of Christianity?
I really hope that everything works out.
Okay, you hopes. Yeah, I hope everything works out. Everything, hopey dopey dope. Let's all do the hopey pope. I mean, it's the hopey pokey. This is you're fucking 2-year-olds. Let's all do the hokey pokey. The hopey pokey. Everything's gonna be alright. Put your left foot in your mouth and stick your right hand in your ear and spin all about. Do the hopey pokey, the hopey pokey even. And wash your brains right out of your fucking head.
All for the best.
All for the best. It's for the best that she was born with one kidney and a crooked vagina. It's because yes, we all get to do this fun thing of kind of that's almost humiliating. Like, here's a picture of my daughter. She has a crooked vagina or whatever the fuck's wrong with her. I don't know. I didn't even want to know the details. I mean, apparently she needs surgery so a penis will fit in her vagina. And again, this shouldn't even be an issue for a Christian who believes in marriage. It's God's will. Like I said, maybe he's saving her for himself.
And don't give up hope, by the way, that she may be able to have a child of her own someday, because don't forget...
Oh, yeah, that would be just great. I mean, it's always good to spread your genes when you're genetically defective. When you have some really big genetic defects, it's a really good idea to have one of those baby things, because that just makes so much logical sense. Because it doesn't have anything to do with science and genetics. It's all just... It's God's will. And so no worries. No worries that you have substantial genetic defects. Go ahead, have children too, with your broken ovaries, crooked vagina, and one kidney. It makes a lot of sense. And the world needs more slaves, for fuck's sake. I mean, this, and Jesus loves your suffering. I mean, he just does. He's just sitting up there saying, I told them the poor would be with them always, and look, they're making more poor people who can't even afford to have their vaginas straightened, and they want to have kids. They can't even pay for a fucking medical, their own medical needs, and they want to have more babies that don't have money, that somebody else has to pay for. And it's Hillary's fault, for fuck's sake. No doubt about it, lad. We teached her a fucking lesson. You betcha Donald's going to take care of this. I'm sure he's going to come up with a great health care plan. Like, fuck you. Yeah, I got mine. Fuck you.
That the advance of medical science is always continuing.
Well, not anymore. I mean, wait till the fucking federal court gets a hold of one of these fucking sperm cell thingies or whatever, these fucking stem cell shit again. They get to mess with that again. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to declare that all illegal. All kinds of scientific thoughts will be illegal. I mean, fuck. 3 fucking Scalias on the Supreme Court, you fucking cunt. Eat that and choke and die, fucker.
And she's a young person, so she's
la 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 la, everything is gonna be okay because I'm sure of it now. I have spirituality. Oh, Donald, you give me spirituality. I feel your love, Donald. Stick one of your little short fingers in my anus and go in and out, please, Donald, please. You can just hear him screaming. It's probably fake Sagan probably is wearing dresses now. That's why he can't do videos, because he's probably turned into another one of them. You know, the guys yelling cuck who have no cock anymore. They just can't get it up to save their lives.
Got plenty of time for them to find some kind of new advancement that might give her that capability.
Yeah, maybe they can transplant the ovary of some poor Mexican. Yeah, one of the ones killed at the border, one that falls off the border wall. Yeah, we'll just steal her ovaries.
But anyway, I want to briefly address something that one of my audience members said on my last video. This is Sausage for Mash, one of my oldest and most beloved subscribers, but he's an atheist, so naturally we're not going to agree about...
And he's probably a douchebag. Yeah, he steals the image of a poor chimpanzee, so he's not one of these thieves, like he's entitled to steal, to represent chimpanzeeism on the internet. I don't think so. So this girl is suffering so you can have a chance to redeem yourself. The old Sky Daddy does move in mysterious ways. Thank God for the NHS here in the UK. You know, maybe it wouldn't be covered by the UK health plan. Maybe it's too elective. You know, because maybe she just doesn't. Maybe it's not that her vagina can't, her penis can't completely go in her vagina. It's just too loosey goosey. So you know they want to tighten it up a little bit. Perhaps you can buy prescription drugs on the dark web to send them to Jesus Freak. I don't know if a drug would fix it, but whatever. I guess I didn't get any of the details.
Everything anymore. Well, he left this comment and he said, so this girl is suffering so that you can have a chance at redeeming you.
Yeah, I don't know about the suffering part, really. I don't know if it's really suffering, is it? I don't know. Does it hurt or something? Or does it do anything? Does she still have one of them little clitoris-y things? I mean, I think that's supposed to be the part that works on a woman. You know, if there is a part, that's the one that's supposed to do something.
Yourself. That old Sky Daddy does move in mysterious ways.
Oh, I already read it. Sorry.
Well, I want to say a few brief words about that.
Cool. Okay, we'll get to that. Then I have to go.
You know, the God that I believe in would never make a girl suffer so that some middle-aged guy on the internet can get a little dopamine hit of self-esteem.
But he would do it for some other reason, you know, because, you know, TVs are too cheap at the store. I'm going to torture that girl. I mean, he'd have some other reason, right? Oh, apparently the reason based on the Christian religion, I don't know if you're Christian-based, but, I mean, the reason in the Christian religion is women is cunts for eating apples, and therefore I have to torture all of the daughters of Eve. All of the daughters of Eve must be tortured as punishment. Oh, that's such a cool God. Oh man, I don't know. Donald Trump or God? Who is greater? Who is cooler? Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. If I told myself when I was 15 that I would be making this video, I would have just laughed my ass off. I'd be like, no fucking way. The world's getting better. People are growing up. We're doing okay. My car is big. You know, everything's big and big. Everything's big. Grass is really green. Everything's really cool. No fucking way I'd have to make this video.
That he was able to do something good, right? That I got a good deed under my belt. God doesn't work that way.
Well, I mean, if this is your good deed for a lifetime belt thing, it's pretty sucky, I gotta tell you. I mean, fucking, you're what, 93 now? In whatever, general appearance, 41, 2, 3. And if this is your good deed, this is the best you could do for 40 whatever years. Yeah, it sucks ass, actually.
And as far as me redeeming myself, well, two things about that. First of all, let's talk about theological redemption, and let's talk about just worldly redemption, secular redemption, if you want. Now, in a theological sense,
secular redemption. You know, I don't see. You know, from my perspective, the evil is in the intent, in the lack of respect for the importance of a principle. So let's say the real redemption for like driving drunk is the conscious realization I could have imposed horror on people, and oh, I understand that. That was just so. That was an obscene risk I took with somebody else's welfare. I risked ruining their fucking life, and blah, blah, blah. That would be the redemption, would be in the understanding that it's not about you. Yeah, that would be the redemption.
only the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Oh, dear,
has
it is
the power
Christian. Okay, so he believes in the Son of God came to earth to inform us that the poor will be with you always. Yeah, and that he's only here for a short while, so he should have his feet rubbed by hookers. Because unlike you people, okay, he only gets one chance or something. Unlike you people who are going to die younger than him, living a much more brutal life than he lived. With all kinds of fetters, like leprosy and shit. You know, they got to deal with leprosy. Not only do they not get hookers and oil on their feet, they got fucking leprosy. And he's bitching about what a burden it is to be the Son of God. You know, he has a guaranteed place in the fucking holy jacuzzi. And he's bitching, where the rest of us are doomed to, you know, fire and brimstone and death and no jacuzzis for doing the simplest of trespasses. I mean, you just almost can't evade hell.
Redeem anybody. There's no way that I could quote-unquote redeem myself, because I'm not the redeemer of mankind. I'm just a sinner.
Oh, that's just a technicality, though, isn't it? That's like Trump saying, I didn't go bankrupt. It's just the businesses I was paid $2 million a year to run went bankrupt. What does that have to do with me? Fuck. Wasn't my money. I already got out. I just left the suckers in there. I didn't tell them, hey, sell the stock, okay, because it's going nowhere. I didn't let them know. I just bailed and said, you what, you think I still got stock in this company? No, suckers. That sounds sort of like you're playing a semantics game here. Like, oh yeah, I'm not going to engineering my way into God's loving affection. Well, maybe you are. Maybe underneath it all, that's all you're really doing, is engineering yourself a little safe place. At least a little corner in the jacuzzi where you can be the soap boy. Yeah.
So
you really are silly. I mean, really, what you really think that I'm supposed to believe you? That you really believe that there is a infinitely existing God who decided one day, after having an infinite number of thoughts, he said, I'll make a couple of these animal things and, penises and crooked vaginas, and I won't even make those things match exactly equally, in the sense that one is going to work a hell of a lot more in a fun way than the other one, which is going to be barely functional as a fun toy, and set them loose in a wilderness where they're supposed to know, don't talk to snakes and don't eat fucking apples, because it's the most important thing in the universe, and they're supposed to appreciate how important it is just because I told them. They're not supposed to understand anything. Understanding is evil. Being smart is evil. You're just supposed to be a fucking maggot. Do as the maggot is told to do. Okay? Obey Jabba the Hutt and be a good little fucking maggot. And so you want me to believe, after you've done all this talk, you talked about books you've read, you've talked about all this psychology crap, you even took some classes, I think, in psychology, and you're going to tell me that you're not talking out of your ass when you say you believe in that God, you believe that he had a son called Jesus, and that Jesus was born in a fucking dopey manger, and all this bibbly-babbly-boo bullshit. You believe this bullshit. Immaculate conceptions and all this other shit. Oh, come on. In the context of knowing that this instrument, this stupid fable, has been used for hundreds of years to keep human beings in slavery. And you want me to think you're being sincere. That you're not basically just jerking off on everybody's head. Which is really disgusting, because you didn't ask permission. I mean, if you asked and you said, look, I really need to jerk off in your hair, I might say, okay, do it, just do it, get it over with. But you should ask, you fucking cunt. All right. So there will be a part 2. Maybe late night fun. People are just such lying, scuzzy pieces of shit. Just amazing.